Hello everybody, welcome to my Draw My Life video. I know this is usually saved for a milestone, but I feel like it's also a good way to celebrate being able to do something you love doing and that you enjoy, even though it's not gone that far yet and you've not reached a lot of people. But it might not be what I'm doing for my living. It might not kick off ever. I am still happy to be doing it. And I thought I would celebrate that. So, I only have 15 subs right now. But you know what? That's 15 people that I can bring joy to. That I can make an effort to bring joy into their lives. So now, let's get into this, shall we? Our story starts 2 years prior to the time I was born. This time was when my brother was born into the world. Now, it might be strange to start a story back there, but any of you have any stories similar to mine, you might understand why I'm starting back here. So my story starts before I was born. It starts here. So the reason it starts here is because as some things came to light about my father that were not the same. When my mom and dad first met, my father originally told her that she could have however many kids she wanted while they were together. And that was a big deal for mom because she wanted 3 kids. And she had, at the time they met, she only had my sister. But as it turns out, he lied about that because when my brother was born, he said, "No, I didn't want to have any kids with you. I already have 3 kids too many." So shortly after, my mom had to go back to the hospital to have procedure done to not have any more kids, which made her really sad because she really wanted to have that 3rd kid, but she only had 2, and our sister and my brother. So while she's at the hospital, the anesthesiologist tried to give her the shot for the anesthesia, but he tried it 3 different times, but all 3 of those times it didn't work. So the anesthesiologist had a rule of 3. If something didn't work for 3 times in a row, then that means it didn't fit into God's plan for that person's life. So then he refused to try again, and my mom left the hospital with her ability to have kids still intact. Fast forward 2 years, and I came in the world on January 28th, 1992, the same hospital in Nashville, Tennessee that my brother was born in. I was born at 11 o'clock, somewhere around 11 o'clock in the morning. To be precise, I don't remember the exact time. And I know that there's a reason that I was born because of this whole situation surrounding my birth. I don't know what that reason is yet. I'm still searching for that reason. But hopefully, sometime soon, I will understand. So, story goes, I grew up, and as I grew up, I didn't really have very many friends. In fact, for a long time, I didn't have any friends at all. My childhood, I feel like, could be compared to Naruto's and Gaara's, because like them, I grew up pretty much alone in the friend aspect. When I wasn't at home, I didn't have anyone, and even at home sometimes I felt alone. So like Gaara, who had Yashimaru, I did have my mom and somewhat my brother, but we had a really huge sibling rivalry, so it was kind of a mixed bag for our relationship. But as for everything else, I was pretty much the outcast. So that's why I tend to compare my life as a kid to Naruto and Gaara's. We're all alone. Unlike Gaara, though, none of my family tried to kill me. But the kids, on the other hand, at home, my mom babysat the neighbor kids all the time. They were always at the house. And at the house, probably because they knew if they were mean to me that my mom wouldn't let them watch the shows or anything. So at home, they were nice to me. They were always nice to me at home. So they could watch their Veggie Tales and everything. I never really understood why there was a difference at home versus school. Because at school, the kids were terrible to me. They called me names, they pushed me over, they teased me for knowing random facts that most kids our age didn't know, like what physics went into pushing to how a swing set worked. And for some reason, I never understood, they would use the term monster referring to me. And I never really understood it, but it was always the thing that hurt most, because even though I didn't know what a monster was, I knew it was something, it was like the worst of the worst things that you could be called by a kid. So another issue that I had at that time was even the teachers weren't really nice to me. They pushed me really hard and were never satisfied with my work, even though I was one of the top students in the class from my understanding. Anyways, I don't really remember much about how I did my schoolwork, so maybe that's not true. So I never understood why the teachers pushed me so hard. They would also exclude me from situations same as the other. So one possible explanation is mom would say that says sometimes that my brothers always getting in trouble in school. So maybe they thought that I was the same. However, knowing what I know about my brother and some of the times he's gotten in trouble in the past was to defend me from bullies and stuff. Of course, I was never around at the time he was got in trouble, so I never really knew until later that it was going on. So I'm not sure if the kids and the teachers being bullies came first, or if his anger and aggression came first. So I don't really know what was the cause of that situation back in Nashville. Now, all this came to a close in December of 1998. That year, our family didn't really have much of a Christmas. The reason being is because my parents, my father and my mother, they walked away from each other because they were getting divorced. And my mom won custody. Actually, to be honest, I don't remember the story well enough to really know if our father even fought for custody. All I know is mom had custody of us kids. So mom made the decision that we were going to leave Tennessee and never come back because she wanted to get away. She needed to get away. We needed to get away. So we left, and he left, and that was the last we would ever be a complete family with our dad. So I remember we were in the moving truck because Mom didn't have a car at the time. We were in the moving truck, and I asked Mom, so what is divorce? What does it mean to get divorced? And so she explained to me what divorce is and why people get divorced. But I was still left confused because I thought, if you're not gonna love someone forever, well, why do you get married? So I remember in my 6-year-old self, I said stubbornly, I'm never going to get divorced. And that's still one of my life goals in life, that when I get married, that I'm going to stay married. So moving on with the story, my first few years, when we moved to Ohio, a little town in southern Ohio. My first few years there were just as, if not more so, lonely than my year and a half in school back in Nashville. Because I was the outsider. I was the newbie coming in mid-year, didn't know anybody, so I was an easy target for the bullies to pick on because I didn't have anyone there as any foundation to defend me or to make me feel any differently than what they were trying to give me. The bright side is the monster nickname did disappear with the move. So there was one day where I met one person who said, you know what, this girl needs someone to welcome her to class. So I met my first friend who actually genuinely cared. So I don't know why it didn't have as much of an impact on me as it should have, but it did make me happy, and we sat together every day, and she did her best to guide me into a better path. But she did move away after a few months, and she went into homeschooling. So I didn't see her again for years. It wasn't until high school that I would see her again, and then I only saw her once while out trick-or-treating. And so after she left, I didn't have anyone outside of my mom again. And over time, I ended up adopting a very similar point of view to what Gaara had before Gaara met Naruto. And this thought process had begun to surface as we were in transit Nashville to Ohio. But it didn't get to the point where I hated the people around me for some time. It gradually got there. It got to the point where I pretty much hated everyone who wasn't my mom or my brother. Now, I didn't instigate most of the conflicts. I can think of a few instances where I did, but most of the time, I didn't instigate it. But the more I was bullied, the more I did bully back. So there was one day in the 5th grade where this kid brought back that old name that was the most hurtful, that I thought I was never going to hear again, that I never really understood why people called me it. And something in me just snapped. And so, for weeks, I would try to catch this kid to beat him up. My thought was that I'm going to catch this kid and I'm going to kill him. Luckily, I did not have the ability to do that. I was too slow, he was too fast. I'm not that physically strong for someone my size now. So I probably was not that physically strong then. I probably lacked the ability completely. But then, one day, as I was chasing this kid, someone stopped me and pulled me away from our daily game of cat and mouse. So, yeah, she stopped me, pulled me aside, and she convinced me to hang out with her and her friends. So, I don't know why I listened to this person. Maybe it's because she's the first one who took an active physical role in stopping me and pulling me away from that dark path I was in. And that she showed, rather than just said, that she cared what path my life took. And I don't really, as I said, I don't really know what made me listen to her for sure. I can theorize, but I don't really know for sure. But I do know that I do owe her from taking me from the dark path that I was on and bringing me into a better path and teaching me, having a part in teaching me how to not be on that dark path. And there were troubles within that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that everything was hunky-dory after that, but meeting her did seem to set off a chain reaction now that I look back on it in hindsight. I mean, at the time, it was still a struggle and everything was going wrong. But at the time that I met her, I started meeting people from her church who became my friends, people from other churches who became my friends. Some of those people I still consider among my friends today. So through her reaching out and showing that she cared and where I went, I made more friends. And come 8th grade, even though I hadn't made any friends in school between then and 8th grade, in 8th grade I was approached and befriended by the people who introduced me to Naruto and One Piece and other animes and manga. And it was thanks to those people that I learned about friendship through both my experiences with them and through watching anime. Mostly Naruto is the one that I learned from, but it's thanks to them. And now I have friends and family from church and high school, and my best friends, and my friends in Arizona and New York, and my Star Wars groups of friends, and YouTube friends, and now even anime club friends. So, like Naruto, I started out alone, but I gained friends. And now, having all these friends around me has changed my life and perspective a lot. And I will always be thankful to each and every one of them. So moving on, unlike Gaara and Naruto, I haven't quite reached my dreams yet. I'm still reaching out for them, trying to find them. So I have dreams, but some of them still seem so far out of reach. So yeah, I haven't reached my dreams, so I'm like, life at this point does not fully reach Naruto and Gaara levels. I'm still reaching for them. So I'm still reaching to try to reach that point where I can just survive on my own. Because I still rely on other people to even, have a place to live, have food to eat, etc. I have yet to find that place where I can live and support myself, which is a fact that I struggle with a lot. However, even so, I'm at that point where I'm still struggling with that. I'm still grateful for those of you out there watching this who have subbed to my channel and supported me so far with my YouTube. I'm thankful every day for my friends and family who have helped me survive and get through and stay strong during the dark times in my life. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate my friends and you guys who are subscribers, even if the ones that I don't know. You guys really just don't understand how much I appreciate you guys. Even though we're small, it still means a lot to me that you are there. And if I make even one of you guys smile, if I make even one of your days better, like so many people have done for me, like Markiplier has done, like my friends have all done, other YouTubers have done. If I make any of your guys' days better, like everyone else has done for me, then I really, really appreciate it. The opportunity to do that, because if I reach just one person, everything is worth it. All those falling downs and having to be picked back up. Luffy in One Piece once said that he could not survive on his own, and he was okay with that. And maybe someday I will reach a point where I will be completely okay with it too. But I have not reached that point yet. I know I will. And someday I will be able to share that sentiment. But it's worth celebrating to me if I help even just one of you guys up the way that so many people have done for me. And that if I help any of you guys, even if I succeed, I know that won't just be on me. It will be thanks to the people around me. If I succeed, it will only be because of my friends, which includes you guys who have subbed to me. We may not know each other, and I may not ever get the chance to meet all of you. But that doesn't matter to me. You guys are my friends. You're part of my community. You're my friends. And I thank you guys so much for believing in me enough that you would sub to my channel, even though I'm new and still getting the hang of this. And I thank you for watching this video. So, as always, don't forget, keep it real and spread the love. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget also that I love you guys so much. You guys have no idea. I really do love you. So, I'll see you guys next time.